So guys, today I saw a tweet by Aches, who is the captain of Team MV. In fact, Aches has won the World Championships, the CoD World Championships twice, I think in 2014 and 4 years later in 2018. And this is the tweet here: headshot multiplier just has to get tuned in CoD Modern Warfare. Flinch recoil hipfire gives random headshot kills because of how strong it is. Really hope they majorly adjust that. Now, I've done a video before about pros' involvement in Call of Duty and how they seem to play a totally different game to us. And my solution was they needed to be, if they wanted esports to be more popular with the casual gamer, the 99% of us, then they needed to play the actual game that we played. Now, for me, if you're such a pro, then surely you should be hitting your headshots all the time. That is what you should be going for if they're going to actually kill people faster. In fact, real soldiers are trained to shoot for the head, because if you shoot someone in the brain, they can't react with their nervous system to pull a trigger. That's why people shoot to kill for the head. That's why you get rewarded in computer games for headshots, because that is the more valuable target. It stops people instantly. So why shouldn't somebody get rewarded if they manage to shoot you in the head, irrespective of how they've managed to do it? If they're lucky, then that's just the nature of the beast. I can guarantee you that I may get killed by a lucky headshot every now and again, but if I go for headshots, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to kill that person first. I think it's a nonsense issue, and I really feel like Infinity Ward need to buck the trend and start listening to the community instead of the pros, because it's no surprise over the years, especially if you look at Black Ops 4 is a perfect example. That game catered to the esports pro agenda and people hated it. You need to take it back to the days of Modern Warfare 2 where the game is fun, and pros need to adjust to a game that we play. We shouldn't adjust to a game that you play. That's not Call of Duty to me. Call of Duty has always been a casual game, an arcade shooter that pros picked up and started getting hype. So if you're such a pro, then surely you should be playing the same game that we play, and you should be adjusting to that and being the best at that. I personally feel like Call of Duty was much better when headshots meant something. I believe it increases the skill gap. Again, I will admit, I will agree that sometimes there is an aura of randomness, but I don't think it's as big an issue as people are making out in the pro scene. It's something that you have to get used to, and again, my solution, if you can't kill, so if you're getting killed randomly, then you need to improve yourself and get headshots, because you're clearly demonstrating that headshots mean something, and these people are probably shooting you in your body and managing to get the recoil to go up anyway. That's something that you adapt to in other games like Battlefield. Rainbow Six is a perfect example. You will die so quick if you get shot in your head, and that's why it's beneficial for you to go to the headshot. Go for the headshot for the kill. It's just a no-brainer to me, and I feel like it's a real non-issue. I don't want this to turn into a rant, but I just personally believe that the pros really want to suck the fun out of these Call of Duties, and Call of Duty has just had such a bad few years. I would put a portion of that blame on the esports scene and on the pros trying to tune the game to their taste and not ours. We are the ones who pay 80 odd pounds to play this game. You are the guys who get paid 10 odd grand plus to win on it. So you should be winning irrespective of what you're playing. That's the whole point of the game, isn't it? One thing that is very clear from the hours I've spent on this game so far, I don't know how it's going to be in core. I hope it's similar to this. Obviously they'll have more health, but for me it is quite obvious that Infinity Ward are going for that aura of realism here. And if we're talking a realistic military shooter, which is what has been requested by, I'd say, 110% of the community, everybody wanted a realistic military shooter, modern day one at that, then if you want this game to play well and to you know, scratch that itch that you're talking about, realism, then you got to make it realistic. People get shot in the head, they die. I'm all for a one-shot headshot kill personally. I've always loved that. I think it increases the skill gap and the better players will prevail most of the time. And this is a trend that was compressed over the years, support streaks, all that jazz. And it pushed away a lot of players, never mind just pros or advanced players. A lot of people just didn't want the skill gap compressed. And it happened every game I've seen in my career of gaming that has compressed the skill gap ultimately ends up ruining itself, because the fun factor is taken away, because people who put in the time to get better at the game are not rewarded justly. They are able to be killed by somebody who has something in the game which is a crutch to a newer player, a weaker player, and they are rewarded for not putting in hours like we did back in Modern Warfare 2 Black Ops. People grinded for hours, and so did the pros. So I personally believe the pros need to suck it up and play the game that we play and get better at it. Get better. If there's things to be abused in, then learn to abuse them. Learn to abuse them against your opposition and stop moaning about it. So guys, I'm not going to make this video any longer because I don't want it to turn into a rant. But what do you believe about this tweet here? Do you believe that the pros shouldn't be listened to as much as us, the paying customer in my personal opinion? Yeah, they may purchase the game, but they get paid a tidy sum to play this game also. If they grind out wins, we grind out a win. The only thing we get is that smile factor and that them bragging rights. So let me know down in the comment section, do you think that Infinity Ward should listen to us? Do you think headshots should be strong in this game for that more realistic factor? Is there anything that you would improve in terms of headshots? Or do you not like headshots and you believe that they should be treated as if you got shot in the chest? Let me know down in the comment section, guys. Guys, there are many buttons you could hit, but a like and subscribe button, I hope they took your fancy. And as always, guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.